Hey, it's Konstantin again. Welcome to Module 1, Lesson 5, where all the hard work that we've done so far throughout this course finally comes together, right? In the previous lessons, we've done our market research. We found exactly what our competitors are doing. We eventually created an irresistible offer that is just, when people see it, they just want to buy from you. But now, like, what are we going to do with all this stuff, right? Because an offer by itself is just black text in a Google sheet, right? Like, you can't really do anything with it. So now it's our job to write an ad and create a powerful, structured way how we can persuade a person into looking at our offer. That's exactly what we're going to do in today's lesson. So I would love to start with a quote from Eugene Schwartz, who said that copy is not written, copy is assembled like an engine, like something within engineering, right? What Eugene Schwartz means by this is that every word, every sentence has a structure in a piece of copy. Nothing is random, right? And I used to think that copywriting was kind of like you sit down and like random ideas pop in your mind and you quickly write it down. That's not how it goes. Every single part has a particular purpose, has a particular structure, with underlying psychological principles that we've already covered throughout lesson 1 and 2, right? So we've already discovered the structure where David Ogilvy mentioned that the creative, the headline, are the needle movers when it comes down to the creatives, right? Here's the example that I've already shared with you many times, one of the campaigns for the Hathaway shirt, and you see the constant trend, catching, storytelling, creative. That really, when you see it, it's like, whoa, what is this, right? And it's just selling the exact same shirt but in different colors. Look at the storytelling right there. Look at this creative right there, where the person is just like, boom. When you see it, it's like the person comes in a room and it's like, holy shit, like, what's happening? He's getting interviewed, everything. It's absolutely crazy. And all we're doing here is selling a shirt, right? Like, you have to make the creative epic so that people actually, resonate with it and catches their attention. And this is one of our creatives, for instance, for Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels, where we demonstrate everything what we've learned thus far in the course. The body copy, right? It's my holy grail of marketing secrets, responsible for taking da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? It sparks curiosity. You want to read more, you want to see more. Then the creative and the headline. Look at the synchronicities there. So the headline is bold, the headline is strong. Free book reveals the 100 million a year unicorn funnel, right? And then we've got Russell Brunson with the unicorn, Jim Edwards. So it is a very interesting creative, in my opinion, and that's exactly what we're going to learn how to do in this lesson, through covering kind of how to create such creatives, how to write bold, exciting headlines, how to write the body copy, and I will also reveal kind of the formula for you. So let's start off with creatives to begin with. By now, I'm sure you've swiped a lot of ads, a lot of like interesting things that you've seen online from your competitors. That's why, again, I don't say things, to add more work to you, but to simplify your life down the line. And a lot of the ideas that I come up with are from either competitors or interesting things I see from other industries. And the main thing with creatives really is you just don't overthink it too much. This is fun. This is creative. Test what you think is going to work, what you think interesting. And here we got 3 creatives that we are testing for this course, for instance, which is this one right there. You can see someone is super sad, back from work. Here someone is happy, and it's a weird, interesting thing. Like, hey, there's some sort of transformation happening here, right? Then we've got here on the right side, which is similar image, but then with the airplanes, just to kind of like as a split test. And then this one right there, and here, it so happened that during the day I was wearing a red shirt and we came across this amazing artwork which is kind of like, it's a really interesting car, but it's not a functional car whatsoever. But you know how all these gurus and kind of like people like mock with their, or they present their Lamborghini or Ferrari and they're like driving around. And this is kind of like a way of kind of like mocking people like, hey, look at me and my crazy car here. And then on the background, we've got some interesting thing happening here again. It's like, who is this person? What are they doing there? Right? So this create right here, it's kind of like, you got like a check mark, curiosity. It's interesting, it grabs attention, and there's a kind of like an element of storytelling there, right? So that is what you want to achieve with your creatives. And the more simple things are, the better, right? Even a photo like this one right there will work for you just as a square image by itself. I highly recommend use the Google API to upload your photos and just check the emotional baggage your photos have, because the last thing what you want to do on Facebook especially, they're just super sensitive with it, is spreading negative news or, you know, sharing kind of like even like a red picture with I don't know, like with blood, scarcity, anxiety, like war or anything like that. Yes, you can get attention with those things, but one of the things that Mark Zuckerberg said himself is that their platform is optimized to spark joy, to spark meaningful interactions amongst the users, right? That's what Facebook wants. And we're going to be the guest on their platform. We're also going to advertise on Google and YouTube, but especially with Facebook, the policies are very strict and you just want to do what the platform wants as well. It's going to create more engagement. People are going to love it. You want to spark joy, creativity, fun. That's the angle that you want to do. And with Google API, you can quickly check what is the emotional sort of like baggage behind the image. So here, picture of myself, very neutral, and you can see it's just crazy. Just recognize everything. It's insane. And here's a picture of us being happy, joyful, and here it's, you know, it sparks joy. It just recognizes everything, right? And the last thing you want is that it, you know, represents anger or stuff like that. That's just, that's not what the platform wants. So moving on to the body copy. Here we've got a fantastic framework from my mentor and also one of our clients, Russell Brunson, sharing the framework hook, story, offer. And this is a structure how you can start with the hook. You tell your story and then what you've accomplished, kind of like your hero's journey, and then you go into the offer. So with the hook, the goal is to have just 1 to 2 sentences to grab someone's attention. That's what the hook is for. Story is a 3-4 sentences, and the goal here is to entertain, to educate, to interest people. Remember, one of the 9 learned human wants is to be informed, to be entertained, right? That's what 99% of the people do online. They're not necessarily buying things. So you want to tap into those things during the story process. And we also learned in lesson 1 that storytelling in itself is one of the most powerful ways to communicate. It's been with us since the dawn of times. People have been drawing caves drawings, like sharing their story. I gave you an example of Jesus Christ. Kind of like all prophets and sages have been telling stories. And it's just weird not to use this type of communication in your marketing. And then the offer. And the goal here is to build desire, to show like what are the past results people had, what sort of is included in the offer. And then you know, give them an option like, hey, it's create urgency and help your prospect take action. Here is a live example of such structure. So this is one of our many ads. Think improving your Facebook ads can change your life? It absolutely can. So we're grabbing here attention, and then we go into the storytelling component. So we try to entertain, interest our prospect and tell them our story. How I went from picking bananas to discovering the Full-Throttle method to run, insanely profitable ads. And then we are building desire. It's like strapping a couple of jet engines to your business, then holding on your dear life as it takes off, right? So desire, interest, and then we give them the offer and take action. And this is just one of the many offers we're testing. So while you're watching this, it might not be, available as well. But here we're offering the Full-Throttle course for $27. And then we're just like, kind of like stating where we had experience with, and then, giving them the offer and option to purchase the course. A few apps that I recommend using is the Hemingway editor. This is how it looks when you're into the editor, and this is where you can write all of your copy. So you can follow the framework of hook, story, offer, and you can write it here all together. And this is going to be your ad, right? I will also hook you up with some templates, so just like fill in the blanks for you. You don't have to worry about if you kind of struggling with copy. We got your back right there. But the goal here is to write your ad in a way that is just simple to read. You won't have like a readability 4 or 5. Anything below that is good, and you just want to keep things simple, right? You don't want to have like complex like sentences. You want to when you look at it, it's just eyeing very, very natural, very simple language is what you want to use. Something that when a friend sits in front of you, you're just telling kind of like, hey, this is what I'm up to. This is what I've been doing, and here's what we do now. So once you finished writing this, the last check that you want to do is run it through Grammarly. Run it through Grammarly and then read it out loud just to iron out all the nicks and all the cracks in your copy so it just flows very smoothly. That's kind of the last step that you want to take. Now we've covered how to write a killer body copy following the structure hook, story, offer. Let's dive into headlines as well, which is my favorite part. And what I love about writing headlines is that there's so many different ways of writing headlines. There's so many unique hooks and tricks and kind of approaches that you can take to say the exact same thing. And I want to share, first of all, a way of how not to do this, because we already know storytelling, curiosity, tapping into people's benefits is how you can create really persuasive headlines. But this person just takes the wrong approach. And here is an ad I swiped, which is a picture of a bread wrapped around someone's feet. And this person is saying, hey, he wraps a slice of bread around his foot, and this is why. Right? And this is complete bullshit, right? Like this. Yes, like you can make money through this kind of stuff. You can make money through it. And in fact, I think it could be that they made like millions of dollars, but it's just, it just doesn't make sense. Like just, focus on selling your products and services in a very interesting, clever, unique way that actually serves people, right? This doesn't benefit really anyone. I want to share with you how you can do it in a really good way and give you some inspiration on different approaches when it comes down to writing copy. What sort of headlines can you write? Right, so here, the number one is the offer headline. This is an ad I swiped from the 1900s. It's a very, very old ad, but I thought it's worth sharing because if you're in the market of buying a bicycle, look at the ad right there. So it's 10 days free trial for your bike, right? And a really interesting hook for our own agency where the prices are just very expensive a month. Potentially we can try doing, hey, get a 7-day trial, right? That's just an idea I came up with right now after looking at this ad. That's how you use these examples that I'm giving you. Domino's Pizza delivered in 30 minutes or your pizza is for free. Another great offer headline right there. promise headlines. Let's check those ones out as well. This is a headline that we've already covered in the course from Gary Benzavenga, announcing a direct response agency that will guarantee to outpull your best ad. Right, that's a great promise headline right there. And here another one, which we all know. I'm sure if you're in this personal development space, one of the first books kind of like any person reads is like How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it is for a reason, because this book has been sold over 30 million copies. And a huge factor of that is because of the headline, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which actually Victor Schwab wrote, which is, incredibly powerful, right? Like it is that the headlines are incredibly important, and that's like, I just can't stress it enough. Problem solution headlines, which are, pretty straightforward. Here is a make money offer to men who want to work less and earn more, right? In the past, the craft of actually creating ads, writing copy, finding magazines where you can place ads, kind of like the media buying aspect, was a thing that people were selling as a vehicle to make money. Right now we've got make money through Amazon FBA, we've got drop shipping, we've got social media marketing agency, we've got YouTube automation, we've got like tens of thousands of different ways of how you can make money online as a vehicle to, quit your 9 to 5, etc., etc. But back then it was the actual copywriting and distributing the ads and finding magazines where you can place these ads. So this was also one of such offers. And then here, another one from David Ogilvy for his advertising agency, how to create financial advertising that actually sells, right? And it's a long form piece of copy after that. But here, the principles remain: target audience, what they exactly want, which is how to actually do this, because they've tried it in the past. Right, the nuance here, it's a very simple headline, but the nuances are huge. They're not writing, how to start. They're promoting as, you've perhaps already tried it, you've already done this, but here's how you can actually do this, right? And there's a lot of education. Big secret headlines. Gary Halbert was a master of that. He was really known for writing very outrageous copy headlines, and he was really a master at this. Here is one of his headlines for, when you're going to the casino and you perhaps have lost all the times and you're like, what, I finally want to win this time. You would read this headline and you would buy this product for sure, because it's the amazing blackjack secret of a Las Vegas mystery man. So assuming that this person wins all the time, this person has this, patch of kind of like a criminal in a good way, where this person always wins, but no one actually knows who this person is. And a great combination of the creative, that big secret, that intrigue, with the headline. Here, one more headline from Gary Halbert, which is, have you ever wondered what you would look like with $1 million smile? Right? And in today's industry, you can still run this headline for dentists, clinics where they do the teeth whitening, right? This headline would be still applicable. And the key takeaway here is it's $1 million smile, right? How would you look like with $1 million smile? That's crazy, right? And that little nuance is all what matters. Proclaiming headlines. Let me share with you one of the ads that I actually have in front of me, which is this one right here. It's an ad from David Ogilvy for the brand the Zippo lighter, right? Like you can use it for campfires, smoke cigars. It's one of the oldest kind of lighters. And have a look at the headline right there. So after 20 years of daily use, the only thing that we had to fix on the Zippo lighter was the hinge, right? So it's a huge proclaiming headline where this is the most reliable product on the market, right? There's nothing better than this. It's after 20 years, all we had to fix is a little hinge right there. And here's another proclaiming headline. Is this actually possible? An automated income for life, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 a year without working, from a business that runs itself. So that's kind of like a make money online offer, but back then. That's kind of what I want to share with you as well. And here is another fantastic one. I think it's from Gary Halbert as well. $500,000 a year. This is a private advertisement. It means for tremendously ambitious man only. I absolutely love the subheader right there, which is just qualifying people that like, hey, if you're not willing to work hard, not willing to invest in yourself, then, you know, it's over for you. And then finally, one of my favorites, which is the story headline. And here is another ad from the same product, also from the David Ogilvy campaign, and have a read of this one. The amazing story of a Zippo that worked after being taken from the belly of a fish. Right? How crazy is that when you go on a fishing trip with your friends, you accidentally drop the Zippo gets eaten by the fish, and then another fisherman catches the fish, and they open up the fish, and then they see the Zippo, and they start using it, and it works. Right? Like how crazy of a story is that? It's just ridiculous. But I think it's kind of like one of the best story headlines that I could find for you to show as an example. But here's another one, which is the story of two men who fought in the Civil War. And eventually it leads into one dies and another one becomes successful through this book, through the business course, which is from the Hamilton Institute. It's kind of like one of the first free plus shipping book offers for his institute, which is, you know, an amazing key takeaway. And I know what you're thinking already, like you've gone through the headlines. It looks amazing. It's very interesting. But how can we make this practical for you? I want to give you a resource, an incredible, valuable resource, which is a collaboration between myself and my friend Michael Silk. His secret stash collection of 1,147 eyeball grabbing headlines. And what's incredible about this free report is because it took literally 20 years to build, right? Because in the past, people were swiping actual ads, right? There wasn't a computer where you can put everything in a folder and have everything. People used to have massive boxes of magazines, newspapers, where everything kind of was stacked together, and people were literally clipping the headline so they can actually use that for their own marketing, for the clients, etc., etc. So that's what Michael Silk has done, and I just want to give you a sneak peek in this free report, which is this one right there. You know, it's an absolute beast of a free report. And some of the headlines right there, you will find like number 39 alone, How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? And you can check it for yourself. The book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, has been sold over 30 million times. And now you can use that headline and use that for your own marketing. How to right? Like you can apply these headlines, not copy them, but use particular parts and come up with your own ideas. And you know, there's no short of inspiration right there. There are literally over 1,000 headlines for you to swipe. It is an incredible free report. So go ahead and grab that. It's down the video below. Then moving on with description, which is kind of like a final part of the copy. And what a description is, it's a small piece of text below your headline. Here's a quick example from BuzzFeed. So here is the headline: 21 lawyers revealed their oh crap moments from court, and let's just say it's criminally funny. Right, so this I highly recommend you to check out BuzzFeed and take some inspiration from there, because you know the copywriters that work for BuzzFeed are getting paid a lot of money, and all they do is just write headlines. That's kind of what their whole gig is about, and that's how this website gains a lot of traffic. But what you can use is use the description and the headlines as an inspiration, and the same thing you can do through Magster. Again, these trashy magazines, they employ some of the top copywriters in the world with the sole purpose of grabbing someone's attention and make them buy this trashy magazine. I know a lot of the headlines are super cheesy, you know, super weird, but there are a few really good ones, like "Woman Health is Pretty Clean." Here's, for instance, an idea for a headline: "The one mistake even good doctors make." Right? "The one mistake good advertisers make," or, you know, "Flat abs now, take action, more sexier. Fall in love with your job. 7 life-changing careers tips." Right? Like, you can use those headlines and descriptions for your own marketing. And finally, I want to share with you tools that you can use to write your copy and craft the best headlines, descriptions, and creatives. We've already touched on the Hemingway editor, which is a phenomenal tool to figure out the readability of your ad. Make sure it's kind of like grade 5 or below. And a quick tip I have is to run it through Grammarly, so that it's kind of like, you know, so you're not making unnecessary mistakes, and also read out the copy out loud so that you can remove and iron out all the nicks and cracks. Then chuck in the final version within Centigem, which reads the emotional load of your ad. Is it positive or negative? Right? I've already touched upon this, which is on Facebook especially, you don't want to do anything, any negative angles, any negative news. You want to keep things fun, light, and positive. That's what sparks engagement. That's what sparks meaningful interactions, which, again, Mark Zuckerberg said that's one of the key metrics that they optimize for as a platform. And finally, the Google API, which I'll also include a link for you down below. Upload your pictures and actually make sure that the pictures are positive as well, for the exact same reason. So here are the final resources of this course. I'll attach all the tools, including Michael's collection of 1,147 eyeball-grabbing headlines. Also, quick summary: what we've covered together today in the course is how to create like a very interesting, intriguing creative. We've touched upon points like storytelling, curiosity, something that is weird and quirky, that works as well. And now you know what a really interesting creative looks like. Then we've covered how to actually write killer headlines and different approaches you can make when writing such headlines for yourself. And then also powerful structure from Russell Brunson, which is hook, story, offer, a very simple yet effective way of navigating through the ad, and that will eventually lead to the offer. And then finally, I shared with you a couple of tools like the Hemingway app, Grammarly, Centigem, where you can actually chuck in your copy and put it all together. And here are the action items for today's lesson. So based on all of the research that we've gathered in our previous lesson, I challenge you to actually write a body copy yourself. Use the structure hook, story, offer, which we've learned in this lesson, and give it a go. Craft 3 creatives and write 5 headlines. All together, this gives us 1 times 3 times 5, 15 ad copy combinations that we'll be able to use in the next lessons, in the next modules, where we're actually going to write your ads and actually launch them. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I really look forward to see you in the next one.